Hello, good day. This is Teacher Brenda here, and I am going to explain Year 4 Mathematics, Topic 2 or Unit 2, which is fractions, decimals, and percentages from the Ilmu Bakti activity book. Okay, so for those students who have this book, please look at page 35. It starts there, and I'm going to start screen sharing. So referring to the book, page 35, okay, question, let's choose question 3, okay. So question 3, it requires us to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers. So for example, 8/6 is an improper fraction to be converted into a mixed number. So there are many ways to do this. One of the first ways would be, you can just straight away do a simple division. For example, 8 divided by 6. So here you will get 1 times 6, 6. 8 minus 6 would be 2. So this is called your remainder. So which means you will have 1/6 and with a remainder of 2/6. And this part can be simplified. 2/6 can be simplified to divide by 2, divide by 2. When you do a division for a fraction or a multiplication, you have to do it both at the numerator and with the denominator. So 2 divided by 2, you will get here 1/3. So this is one method of converting an improper fraction into a mixed number. The second method would be, you could go with the understanding that 8/6 means there is already a 6/6 plus a 2/6. You can break it up like that. And you know that 6/6 means it's a whole one, and 2/6, again, you simplify it over here, so it will become 1/3. Now, this is based on our understanding that, based on our drawing, that a fraction, 8/6, if you want to draw 8/6, you got to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts here. So this is 6/6, and this is another fraction of 6 parts. Pardon my drawing. It should be equal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 2/6. Altogether, that's how it makes 8/6. This understanding is coming from year 3. Okay, so at year 3, you would have learned how to draw or represent 8/6 as a diagram. Okay, and from there, you convert 6/6 becomes 1/2, 2/6 is 1/3. So that's how you can convert an improper fraction to a mixed number. And then on the same page, question 6 requires us to convert a mixed number, for example, 13 2/5, which is a mixed number, into an improper fraction. So to do this, again, we have a couple of methods, but the fastest and the easiest is to do a multiplication at the bottom, followed by an addition on top for the numerator. So 13 times 5 plus 2. So 13 times 5, you can do a standard written method to find what is 13 times 5. Or you can also do a mental math, which is, you can say 10 times 5 is 50. Okay, 10 times 5 is 50. And then you still have another 3 times 5, which is 15. So 50 and 15 makes 65. So over here, you'll have 65 plus with 2, and that's over 5. So now you will have 67/5. Quite a big number, but yeah, it's still doable. And this is how you change a mixed number into an improper fraction. Just to revise with y'all, okay, I hope you all have not forgotten your basics. There are 3 types of fraction: proper fraction, improper fraction, and mixed numbers. All right, so improper fraction gets converted to mixed numbers and vice versa. The main difference is proper fractions are fractions which are smaller than 1. Improper fractions are fractions that are bigger than 1. For example, 3/4 is less than 1. 4/3 is more than 1. Thus, 4/3 can also be represented as 1/3 inside there with another 1/3. This is a quick recap of your basics. Now moving on to the next page, we have on page 36, we have addition of fractions, okay, which are of mixed numbers. So I'm going to look at question 7, assuming that's the hardest. Okay, so let's see the question. It's 2/1/4, okay, plus 5/6 plus 3/4. Now, how do you do an addition of fraction in the first place? If you recall back during my previous classes, I would have explained the first thing would be you need to make sure that the denominator is the same. Okay, only the denominator, when it's the same, that's when you can do the addition or a subtraction to what we call the numerator. Now, I hope you have not forgotten. Denominator is the number at the bottom. Numerator is the number on top of the fraction. So this is the numerator and this is the denominator. Okay, so let's see, how do we now solve this fraction? Now, first of all, we want to make the denominator the same. And over here, we have got two different denominators. 4 and 4 is the same, but 4 and 6 is not the same. And we also have a mixed number over here. So step 1 would be to change this into an improper fraction. So let's change first. So do a multiplication and an addition on top. So 2 times 4 will be 8. 8 plus 1 would be 9. So over here, you straight away convert. This is 9/4. Plus, just rewrite the question for the time being, 5/6 plus 3/4. Now you know you have to take, or you have to make all these three, or at least 4 and 6 as the common denominator. What will be the common denominator between 4 and 6? Now for that, the way to find it will be to simply list down what are the multiples of 4, for example, 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. And again, on the other side, what are the multiples of 6, for example, 6, 12, and 18. And over here, you can see that when you reach 12, it is a number which is common to both 4 and 6. So this is your common denominator. Now, another way, of course, some of you may have been taught, oh, to find a common denominator, all we need to do is take 4 times 6. And yes, you could do that and you will end up with 24. Yes, 24 is still another common denominator. It's the next denominator over here. And then you'll have to go up with 20 and reach 24. However, in maths, we always try to work with the smaller numbers. It makes our life much easier. So over here, if you're alert enough, you will find a common denominator between 4 and 6 at 12. At the point 12 or at the number 12, you will see that they are common already. Now, how many times do I have to times 4 to get to 12? I've got to times 3 times. And how many times do I need to times 6 to get to 12? I've got to times 2. So, in other words, now I know that my common denominator is 12 over here, and the 6 will become 12, and this 4 as well will become 12. However, 4 times 3 is what makes 12. What I do at the bottom, I also do at the top. So 9 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. Same thing, 6 times 2, 12. What I do at the bottom, I also do at the top. So 5 times 2 over here, it becomes 10. 4 times 3 is 12. And again, what you do the same thing at the top, and you will get again, a 9 here. Now, all you're left to do is add the numerators. Now you have got all your denominators as 12. And so now you just add the numerator, and let's see what will be your answer. 27 plus 10, 37. 37 plus 6 would be 40. How much is that? 37, 46, right? So you will get your answer as 46 over 12. Now, this is definitely an improper fraction which needs to be simplified. So again, I'm going to erase here a little bit to give some space. You could do a standard division, okay? Or you could ask yourself, how many 12s will go into 46? Anyways, I'm going to do a standard division here just because it's a big number. So 46 divided by 12. So if you know your times table 12, you'll have 12, 24, 36. And the next one will be 48. you don't have 48 here, so you have 46, so you work with 36. So that's 3 times 12 and you'll get 36 and you will have a remainder of 10. I'm doing this really basic so that you will understand, okay? And how, so now over here, this 3 here becomes your big whole number. That means there are 3 12s in 46 and a balance of 10 over 12. Now remember, 10 over 12 has to be simplified. All answers in fraction, step 3 is to always simplify all your answers. Okay, so 10 divide by 2 here and divide by 2. What you do at the top, you also do at the bottom. So this becomes 3, 5 over 6. And that's your answer. This is how you add 3 fractions, probably in different denominators, ideally. But of course, and if you happen to have a different kind of a denominator, let's say you had 2 here instead of, then you just have to work on getting the same denominator between 2, 4, and 6, which will still be, I think, 12. All right, so let's move on, clear the drawings. And we will go to the next page, page 37, which looks into subtraction of fractions. Okay, subtraction, a little bit trickier than addition. And I'm going to look at question number 3. Now, question number 3 here shows a question which is like 7 minus 4, 2 over 5. Now, this is a question where there is a whole number minusing a mixed number. Now, how do I do this? First of all, I want to change my 7 so that I have something on the fractions part to take away this fractions part. So ideally, I should be looking into a common denominator before I minus a fraction, because the rule is to add or minus a fraction, you must have the denominator, you must have a same denominator. So I would like to think that I would be having 5 over 5 so that it's easy to minus 2 over 5 later. However, this 5 over 5 is 1 whole. And when I take out 1 whole from the 7, it leaves me with 6. So that is how the 7 becomes 6, 5 over 5. Assuming this had been, say, another number like 6. Okay, if this had been 6 instead of 5, then I would choose to have 6 over 6. So that my subtraction becomes easy, 2 over 6. You see that? But since it is 5, so we stick with 5. All right, so undo, undo, undo. Okay, and do not forget the 4 still stays here. You are just rewriting it now again. So over here now you see that the 7 has become 6, 5 over 5. Why did I choose 5 over 5? So that I can minus 2 over 5 easily. Okay, so now I can take 5 minus 2 and I will get 3 over 5. That would be for the fractions part. And then 6 minus 4 and I will have 2 whole. Okay, so that is how you could answer a subtraction of fractions. Okay, let's do another question. All right, clear the drawing. And over here I have, okay, I'm going to do question number 4 here from page 37. Okay, subtraction of fractions, but this time we are looking at 3 fractions. So I have here 3 over 4, okay, minus 1 over 8, minus 1 over 2. So the rule is the denominator has to be the same. So look at the times table. It's all in the times table of 2 here. It's all in the multiples of 2. So which means that the common denominator that I would like to work with must be 8. 4 gets into 8, 2 gets into 8. So this 3 over 4 must become something over 8. So I know 4 times 2 will give me 8. Do the same thing to the number on top. So 3 times 2 will become 6. Maintain this as 1 over 8. Don't have to change anything here. And then over here, 2 times 4 becomes 8. And what you do at the bottom, you also do on top. So over here will become 4. So now let's see what will be your answer. You have all the common denominators already. And so you take the numerator and you minus 6 minus 1, 5. 5 minus 4, 1. So your answer here stands at 1/8. Right, let's look at another question from the page, same page 37, which has more like a whole numbers in it for a subtraction. Okay. All right, so here we go. I'm looking at question number 5. Okay, question number 5 shows 10 minus 3 minus 4/5. So over here, you can see that 10 minus 3 is actually a whole number, which means you can straight away do the subtraction. 10 minus 3 is 7. So now your question becomes 7 minus 4/5. So if you remember earlier, I want to have a fraction here to minus this 4/5, something which is easy for me to work with. So I would like that to be 5/5. I'm choosing to be having the same denominator as the 5 here, minus 4/5. However, this 5/5 comes from this 7, which is now broken up into, this is one whole, and so you'll have a remaining 6 here. Okay, so now you can work on the fractions part. So your answer would be 6, still a whole 6 here, 5 minus 4, 1/5. And this is how you can subtract fractions. All right, let's do a little bit, one more difficult question on page 7. Okay, that would be, sorry, on page 37 and question 7. Okay, I'm looking at question 7. So that would be 10 2/5, which is a mixed number, minus 7 1/10. All right, another mixed number, minus 2 3/5. Now, a lot of mixed numbers. Easiest way to do this would be just change them everything to also improper fraction. We can try doing that. So which means let's try this method. Now, what if I change everything to an improper fraction? So times and plus 10 times 5, 50, 50 plus 2, 52/5, okay, minus, okay, 7 times 10 plus 1, 70 plus 1, 71/10, don't worry yet, okay, and then minus, over here multiply and plus, 5 times 2, 10, 10 plus 3, 13, so 13/5. So now you have all improper fractions and not a common denominator. However, to find your common denominator is not difficult because all you need to do is times 2 to this 5. What you do at the bottom, you also do on top, and times 2 to this 5 to get 10 as the common denominator, and don't forget to do on top. So what is 52 times 2? 50 times 2 is 100, 2 times 2 is 4, so it's 104/10 minus, this one remains the same, 71/10 minus 13 times 2 will be 26/10. You see that? So now you have all three common, the denominators are all the same, which means you can now work on subtracting the numerator. So what is 104 minus 71? Okay, so 4 minus 1, 3, 10 minus 7, 3. Now what is 33 minus 26 again? All right, so then 3 minus 6 you can't do, you need to borrow. So now over here you get 2, 13 minus 6 would be 7. Okay, and over here 2 minus 2, nothing. So end of the day, your answer would be 7/10. And that's it. So do not fear it. It's not difficult at all. All right. Okay, all you need to do is have your basic understanding of how you convert fractions in and out. All right. Let's clear this drawing. And how about on the next page, 38, you will find questions that are of mixed operations, which means add and minus fractions. So I'm going to take one example from here. So I'm going to choose question 7. Okay, the last question in the book. So the question goes like 6 minus 2 1/3 plus 3. It looks pretty simple. All right, it's not that difficult. So over here again, all right, I want to choose a fraction that makes it easy for me to minus 1/3. So it would be 3/3. Okay, 3 over 3, but it has to come from the 6 here. So if this 3 over 3 is 1, then you'll have another 5 as the remaining, and that's what makes 6. Okay, so minus 2, 1 over 3 plus 3. Rewrite, keep your sentence. Okay, so over here 3 over 3 minus 1 over 3 is 2 over 3. Don't forget your 5 minus 2, which is 3. And then add it with the other whole number 3, which is here, and you will get 6, 2 over 3. Okay, clear drawing. Now, the next part of fraction goes into multiplication. All right, so the multiplication part, okay, that's on page 39. Okay, the next page. And I'm going to take a couple of questions from here. For example, I'm going to take question number 1. Okay, it says 4/5 of 90 balls. Now, what you need to understand is the word of means multiply. So you rewrite this sentence as 4 over 5 times 90. Okay, now the way to do this is you have to follow a few methods here. Number 1, you learn to do a crisscross, which you have already been taught. Okay, number 2, after you have done the crisscross, you do an up times up over down times down. What is the up is the number on top. What is down is the number at the bottom. Just have to do this simple thing. And number 3, after that, as usual, always simplify your answer. So let's try this. What is a crisscross? Crisscross is when you see multiples crossing each other. For example, 5 and 90. So 90 can be divided by 5, which you will get 14. Okay, 90 divided by 5, you do the division, you'll get 14. 5 divided by 5 will get 1. So over here, what you're left with, 4 times 14, which will be 7. Sorry, correction. 18. Okay, didn't see that properly. Okay, over here 18, and this is 1. So 4 times 18, do a multiplication. So 18 times 4, 32 here. 4 times 1, 4, 4 plus 3, 7. So over here you will have 72. Now what it really means, what does this phrase mean? It means 4/5 of 90 is 72. Now if I put a dollar sign here, 4/5 of $90 is $72. If I put, say, marbles, then 4/5 of 90 marbles is 72 marbles. If I want to represent this as a picture, which is always, that's what I encourage you all to do, 90 is your 100%. It's the 5 over 5 is your 90. And you have 4 over 5. 3, 4, and 5. And these 4 parts make up 72. This is what it visually means. So when you do maths, you must understand what you are doing. All right. So the situation can change, but today we learn how to do or compute or find the solution. But in an everyday situation or in a word problem, the story can change. All right. Of means multiply. All right. Then let's move on. Okay. What about on the same page? What if it's like a mixed number of a certain number? For example, number 5. Okay. It says that 3.5, okay, 3.5 of 280 boxes. So what is 3.5 of 280? How much is that? And later I will tell you what it literally means. Okay, but how do we do this mathematically is, first of all, change this to an improper fraction. That will be the easiest way for you to work. So times and plus, okay, 3 times 2, 6, 6 plus 1, 7. So you'll have 7 over 2. And off becomes a multiply. And this becomes 280. All right. So now 280 divided by 2. This is called crisscross. So 2 divided by 2, 1. 280 divided by 2 is 140. Now 140 times 7. How do I do a mental maths? 100 times 7 is 700. Okay. 40 times 7, 4 times 7 is 28, which means, and a 0 at the back, then it's 280. 40 times 7 is 280. So 700 and 280 is 980. So you know now, you can compute this and get the answer. But what does this mean? What is 3.5 of 280? It means if this one rectangle is 280, then you have 3.5 of it, which means you have another rectangle or anything worth another 280. You have another rectangle worth another 280. And you have half of that still. So that's what it means by 3.5. So what is half of 280? It's 140. So even if you chose to solve it this way, even if you wrote 280 plus 280 plus 280, that is 3 parts, plus 140, that is half. Let's see whether you get the same answer. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 8, 16, 24, 24 plus 4, 28. And then you'll have another 2 up here, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So you see, ta-da, you get the same answer. So 3.5. This is what 3.5 means. Okay, so clear. Let's go on. Oh yeah, that's about it. So this is the part where you learn the part of fractions, okay, for unit 2. And I will continue doing other videos for decimals and fractions. Watch, look forward for my next video. All right, so let's stop sharing. So thank you guys. See you all soon. Bye.